27 October 2013, I was admitted to Island Hospital because my left leg was swollen badly. The next morning, the doctor told me I was confirmed with deep vein thrombosis, and ultrasound showed that I had malignant masses in the ovaries. Later in the afternoon, the cardiologist performed echo tests and was shocked to discover a big chunk of blood clot in my heart. The only solution to try and save my life was to give me the strongest thrombolyzer, hoping that it will dissolve or burst the blood clot. But to do that, the doctor told my family members to be prepared for the risk of internal bleeding and coma, not forgetting that I had 2 big tumors in my ovaries.
The doctor told me that out of 6,000 over echo tests that he had performed, this was the 3rd case that he could see the blood clot so clearly in the heart. And the saddest part was, for the past 2 cases he administered, both were fatal. We have no better option under this critical time, so I and my sister-in-law decided to let the doctor proceed using thrombolyzer. We just put our trust and hope in God, knowing that He will make a way when there seems to be no way. 5 p.m. in the ICU, after Samuel and I prayed for my wife, the doctor gave her the injection.
Around 9 something, Pastor Sam and Susie came. They laid hands for me, and after they left, I discovered that actually my blanket was wet. And actually, I was sweating all over, and I know that the Lord will be with me for the whole night and will carry me through.
That night, the Bible verse John 1:7 appeared in my vision when I suddenly woke up in the middle of the night. I found peace in His Word as I knew God's healing power will be upon Kah Paik and we shall become His witness. We believe the battle belongs to God. I surrendered and told God, "This is your showtime. In you we trust."
The next morning, I woke up well as usual without any side effects. Praise God, the blood clot in the heart already reduced by 30% in size, and 2 days later, it further reduced by 70%, and the doctor said it's no longer a threat. This was the first miracle we experienced within 2 days. I rested 1 week in ICU and HDU. I was discharged on Saturday, and in the midst of SNL service that night, my leg started to swell again, and we realized this was just the beginning of another dreadful episode. On the 4th of November, I was readmitted to Island Hospital and later transferred to GMC to consult the oncologist Dr. Amir as recommended by our old friend Professor Richard Loh. Based on the medical report from Island Hospital, the cancer marker CA125 was extremely high, above 10,000. My CT scan result indicated 2 huge masses of 13 cm and 16 cm each in the ovaries and found suspected white spots all over the lungs. The doctor confirmed I was in stage 3C ovarian cancer. I started chemo treatment that day itself, and I went through 9 weeks of chemo to shrink the tumors before the surgery. The most difficult part was to break the news to my parents. They knew about the blood clot and tumors but did not know it was malignant. I decided to tell them after my first chemo. I pray that God will comfort them with His own words and grants them extraordinary peace. The morning after my first chemo, my sister-in-law's relative from KL came to visit. The uncle had prostate cancer a year ago and was healed. He shared his testimony with my dad. My sister took the opportunity to tell my dad the truth about my condition, and it was easier for him to accept. Few days later, my mom also came to know, and she cried badly, but God comforts her and He gives my parents strength through His Word until today. Throughout chemotherapy, I faced a few challenges. My hair started to drop after the 3rd chemo. I was sad because my hair was so precious to me. However, God comforts me and gave me peace the moment Joe and I shaved it off. I suffered skin allergy caused by blood thinning medication, baldyache and inability to sleep. But whenever I was in pain, I just looked to the cross. The power of cross helped me to pull through effortlessly. Every week, doctor conducted blood tests before chemo. The cancer marker dropped almost 50% weekly from above 10,000 to a normal level of 25.7 at the end of the 9th chemo. CT scan showed tumors shrunk by half and other organs functioned well. Thank God the blood count was always good throughout the chemo and I don't need any booster. After chemo treatment, I was referred to gynae oncologist in the same hospital for surgery. The doctor was not concerned about the tumors, but more worried about the deep vein thrombosis that might cause complications during surgery. Another doctor suggested IVC filter placement in the vein to prevent blood clot travel. We began to feel skeptical when we were told to refer to different doctors one after another. I was confused and depressed. I messaged my friend, Professor Richard's wife, to share my feelings. The next day, Professor Richard suggested me to consult Dr. Karen, the gynae oncologist in Island Hospital. After Dr. Karen explained the whole procedure to me, I found peace in my heart. In the morning of 17 February, I went through debulking surgery smoothly without any complication. When I regained conscious, Dr. Karen told me it was one of the simplest surgeries she had ever performed and reminded me to thank God instead of her. Our God is awesome and faithful. He promises strength and gives us abundant grace to face trials. Through sickness, we as family members experience the wonderful time of praying together. Even when I'm in pain, I truly enjoy every moment of praying together and having Holy Communion every night together with Joe. I might not understand why all of a sudden I had deep vein thrombosis, pulmonary embolism and cancer. But I'm so thankful that through suffering, me and my family members get to know God better and our faith being strengthened. He gave me extraordinary peace to face storms in life just because I know my position in Him. As for my future, I just trust in Him because in Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and future." All praise and glory be to our God.